Ahoy! Here I am. How are you doing, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the BBC Spews Live. It's the 27th of October. One day before the core birthday, innit? Yeah, 28th of October, 1664. Per mare, per terram, Gibraltar. Who's in? Let's have a quick look. Where's my chat gone? Councillor State Rach is in now then. Pete Allen. Katie, I don't know. 6270. Ragnar's in. Resistant Geordie. Councillor State Rach. Crikey, loads of you already. Thanks for tuning in anyway. Right, so what's going on lately? It seems like this is going to be racist week. It's racist week. All we'll talk about is prejudice and bigotry and racism, apparently. Can't get anything else out of them on the news. Farage here is whinging about, not whinging, is he? He's basically stating facts in the public sphere. You can't have that. There's one thing we can't stand round here, it's facts. Let's listen to what this lass, who's from my neck of the woods, I believe she's from Stockton. I could ping it as soon as she started talking. I think she's a Stockton lass. See what she has to say. Again, I've told you this lot loads of times, right? Don't have to be clever, don't have to be charismatic, don't have to wear a suit, don't have to be a legendary orator, don't have to be anything. All you have to be is right. And that's why this young northern working class bird talks more sense in 20 seconds than Lambtron and legions of other knobheads in the House of Parliament and the House of Lords can. It's very simple, isn't it?
The words that Sarah Pochin used in response to a caller into talk radio on Saturday morning were without ugly and taken on their own, could be read to be very, very unpleasant indeed. I am unhappy with what she has done. I can't underestimate that, and she fully knows how I feel. However, it was in the broader context of DEI madness in the advertising industry, something which anybody with half a brain can recognise has been going on since about 2021. So I understand the basic point, but the way she put it, the way she worded it, was wrong and was ugly. And if I thought that the intention behind it was racist, more action than I have to date, and that is because I don't.
Right, well, that's not the one I seen earlier. The one that, the BBC, because it makes sense, right? That's the BBC's one. The BBC didn't want to show her response because it was much better than, because it was much better than his. But in fact, can I find hers? Because it's much better. What's she called, that last? It's Ellie something, isn't it? Let me see if I can find her response, because it's way better. He was a bit mealy-mouthed. Here we go. This is much better. Look at this. So this is what I'm saying about being better at it than the politicians. Nigel, and again, I'm gonna, you lot know how to more than probably any other right-wing YouTuber. I'll defend Nigel, right? I know it annoys you. But again, we've had this argument how many times? I think people who are very right-wing in public all the time are allergic to winning. Nigel Farage knows that if he wants to win, he has to get the normies, and the British public is neutered. They're not as sensible as you people, or me. I know it sounds terribly arrogant, but they aren't. They get their minds twisted by this endless propaganda. So Nigel has to be very, very, very careful. And he has to walk that line by constantly sounding mealy-mouthed about this stuff. I know he's doing it, but I'm telling you, it's the only chance he's got of winning. And as it stands, I will take half a chance than the alternative, which is, like I said to you, I still don't think I'm on the wrong side of this. I'll argue with anyone about it. I'll argue with Sargon about it, or Nick Buckley, or Paz, or any of the other people who I like and I watch, who are always slagging off Farage all the time. Nick had a go at today saying Farage is just, he's not going to do it for us. He's playing the game. I don't believe Farage isn't right wing. There's no way he isn't. Everyone says he's controlled opposition. He's definitely an old-fashioned conservative British person who wants to see lots of these people deported. There's no way he's been playing. What do you think? He's a Guardian reader. He's been playing the long game for 30 years. You have to appeal to the masses or you can't win. If we dig our heels in, I'm a lot more right-wing than Farage. But if you dig your heels in, you've got no chance. So that's what he's trying to do. But anyway, and you can let other people do the talking, like this splendid northern lass, for example. Listen to this here. It's better than anything Farage says. And you can see he loves it. You can see he's tent pegging his suit there when she's finished. Because watch his response.
Okay.
Can I comment on that?
Yeah,
as well?
please do.
I find it quite, overwhelming as well that every single one of these medias has said something about a comment that was made by Sarah, which is understandable, absolutely fine. Yet it's taken medias decades to recognise grooming gangs that are coming over and raping our children because they're white. That is also racially motivated and it is racist.
See, he wishes he could say that. That's why he's banging on the table. Look at him.
100%. 100%. Gosh.
Gosh.
Very strong.
Gosh, that's very strong. Yeah. Because she went, can I just have a word, Nigel? Because I know you playing the game, old froggy. But listen, you have to understand that she just dropped a truth bomb on the public there, on the dirty, slimy media. I just said, do you want me to get this, Nigel? Because I know you can't say it, can you? And he loved it. He loved it. And that's amazing. It's seriously like, again, I'm not saying I don't disagree with the people in the chat who were saying obviously Farage is a bit of a fanny. Yes, he is, but that's the only chance he's got to win. And as I said to you, at this point, I don't even know if we can solve these problems politically. But you've got to grasp the half a chance you've got, haven't you? You've got to grasp the half a chance you've got. And the half a chance, the ghost of a chance we've got is Farage gets in with a massive majority of about 400, right? And then the members, all the Reform members are proper right-wing. All the thousands of people who support Farage's party and are going to vote for him, they're like right-wing bricklayers. And then they drive the conversation, and the party members and the elected officials will be right-wing. And then when they're in, they can do what Trump's doing. Trump, if you think about it, it's mealy-mouthed. All the proper right-wing people don't like Trump because he's kind of tame, isn't he? But then he gets in, and what does he do? He deports 1 million blokes in a year. And he puts a ring of steel in and nobody crosses the border. Think of that. All he would need to do is keep saying, oh, of course, I've got no time for racism. Of course, I've got no time for that. Stick a ring of steel in, borders completely locked and nobody comes in. And then deport, 500,000 people a year for 5 or 6 years. And then everyone will go, whoa, this is much better. That's all he needs to do. So we'll just do that. And if that doesn't work, well then we'll sort it out the old-fashioned way. And a large part of me thinks that might be how it gets sorted out, because they have stitched up the system. The power-mad sociopaths like George Soros and the Deep State and the social media giants and the House of Lords and the House of Commons have got too much power. So maybe we won't be able to sort it out politically. But again, and I'll tell this to Mr. Collett when I talk to him in a couple of weeks' time, again, I don't disagree with the majority of what you lads say, but I think they're short-sighted. You can't win. Even if, right, I mean, this is because I've been thinking a lot about this. They always try and make you look like a twat. I noticed when I went on with David, he was proper putting me to the question. And I'm confident enough to do it because I'll put my own ability to argue I've been an argumentative twat since the age of 4. I'll put my ability to argue with people up with anyone's. So I'm confident to go on there and have it out. But my opinion is, even if we had the exact same politics, I like to the letter, I would disagree with the way the likes of Clues and Collett go about it, because if you don't get the masses, you don't do nothing. And even if their side of history is right, and again, I've got a lot of time for the alternative views in this day and age. I've done a lot of reading, I've done a lot of learning. I'll tell you what blew my mind, learning exactly what Patton said. It's not fake news or false history. Some of those quotes that Patton made, my old fella got me turned on to this years ago. He said, Patton always said, we beat the wrong enemy. And if you look up some of the stuff he said, Patton was like, we beat the wrong enemy. He said the Germans were like the only civilised people left in Europe. So I get behind that. And we spent all of our might on them. And all we did was clear it out for the Reds to take over. There's loads of shit. There's loads of shit that I can get behind with alternative history, definitely. Churchill was a wanker. Yeah, maybe he was as bad as they all say, but the point I'm making is still that. Like, even if I get behind 100% of the politics of the most far-right white nationalist people in the UK, I still disagree with the means they're trying to achieve it, because you won't get there. You will never win political power if you go, right, we were the baddies in World War II. Yeah, definitely. We definitely fought the wrong people. You know, everything your grandparents did was in vain. It totally give you the exact opposite of what everybody learns in school. Even if that is all true, you're not going to do anything if you just say that to people, are you? I hope Farage would essentially be sort of like a Trump figure, where he's going to... oh, hang on, Carl, let's have a look at that. How's this victory here? Are you talking about World War II? Are you talking about Trump? Because this is what I'm getting at. Trump, for all of the criticisms about him being mealy-mouthed and overly sort of political, because he is, right? He can't just come out and be right wing on the face of it. If you're to ask me how Trump's working out, it's brilliant. So that's what I'm saying. That's all Farage needs to do. He can keep on being wet and mealy-mouthed, and he can keep being a fanny. But if he gets in, puts the Navy in the channel, immigration goes to zero, and then we deport 500,000 people here, it'll be amazing. Like, you think it's like a drop in the ocean compared to what's gone on for the last few years, but the difference it's made since Trump's been in for 12 months, phenomenal. Like, everything's gone better for me. There's less shit on the streets, there's less crime and criminality, I've got way more money, my stock market stuff's all up about 40%. I think it's brilliant. Once you start putting a bit of effort in, you can fix stuff, but you don't get the chance to fix anything if you don't get in. So, again, I'm sure that'll annoy most of the right-wing as fuck people in the chat, but getting in is half a chance at making a difference. So I'll back Farage until one of the other 10 parties gets past 20% in the polls. And if that happens, well, then I'll switch allegiance. But I'm telling you, dying on your shield, or that's what I think it is. Like I said, I even disagree with the likes of Paz on this one. Guys who I like. Because they're all like, oh, no, I'm going with Advance, or I'm going with Homeland, or I'm going with whoever else. Like, what do you want me to do? Like, I'm going to go with half a chance, because I'm confident Plan B is probably the most likely outcome anyway, isn't it? Which is, we don't get a political solution, and then it keeps getting really bad until it collapses, and then we have a massive dust-up, and then we win anyway. So, I mean, it's not that big of a deal, but I'd like to prevent full-scale civil war, where a load of old ladies and grannies and sick people die because the whole country's falling apart. So there's the political solution, the Farage thing. Calbert, can you honestly see? I honestly can see him doing that, yeah. People would have said, can you honestly see Trump doing that, wouldn't they? Because Trump's not that right-wing. But what did he do? He got in and he locked the border and he started deporting people. Well, can't Farage do that? Don't you think the people who are Reform members are defending that? Like if you turned up at a Reform rally where all the Reform members have been invited, you know, you got the Labour Party conference with all the Labour Party members. If he went to a Reform rally and he gets up on the stage and he's been a bit more antagonistic because it's a Reform rally, and Farage said, I think we should put a ring of steel around the UK and deport 300,000 people this year. Let's say he's going to be a bit lower. He'd get glorious applause, like the Reform membership and the Reform supporters are proper right wing. So he can do it. And he knows what people are saying. So I'm not as down on Farage as everybody is. I think Farage is clever. He's a political operator and he's playing this game. And that's why he's got people like her to do the talking, because he gives his little mealy-mouthed response and then she just gives it as it is. And we'll listen to that again because it's only 30 seconds. It's brilliant. He goes, yeah, of course, I disagree with Sarah, but, you know, I'm not going to sack her because the context is fine. Pretty mealy-mouthed, but at least he's sort of stood by her and said, I'm not going to sack her. And then she just goes, no, you're all right, old froggy, I've got this.
Okay.
Can I comment on that?
Yeah,
as well?
please do.
I find it quite, overwhelming as well that every single one of these medias has said something about a comment that was made by Sarah, which is understandable, absolutely fine. Yet it's taken medias decades to recognise grooming gangs that are coming over and raping our children because they're white. That is also racially motivated and it is racist.
It looks like he nearly burst into a grin there as well, but he's trying to suppress it. And I guarantee he's got a little bit of a fatty on there. He loved that.
100%.
100%.
100%. Gosh.
Gosh.
That's very strong.
Gosh, yeah, he's like, gosh, that's very strong. I wouldn't say that because I'm not daft. That's what he's thinking there. So that's amazing. That's what you want. So that was Daz. I'm pretty happy with that. It's been a mad week. That was good. You see today's video? Holy shit. Look at this. So, I couldn't show this on my video because Good Morning Britain copyright strikes all your stuff. But essentially, I'll do it in slow time on this live stream. They quote some fictional quotes that never happened. Where one guy said to them, "You're not one of us, you're a slave." Right, as if an old British boomer who knows that not only are they getting a wage, a good wage, but he's paying the wage. He's not going to call them a slave, as he knows he's paying their wages. He knows they're taking the piss out of him, and him and his wife and kids are paying for it. So that's just a fiction. These people make it up. We've all seen it. We've all seen it. The first thing they do, if you get into an argument with a piece of shit in the street, we've all seen it. Many of us, working class people who've actually been, out and about and actually had to deal with scrubbers from third world countries, the first thing they do, it's happened to me, the first thing they do if you get into a remonstration with them is go, oh, he called me a, Zulu warrior or something. Obviously worse than that, but I can't use the actual words. They just outright make it up. You've all seen the footage. You've seen leaked videos where someone's taping it on a phone, and the guy who's doing the arguing doesn't see it out of earshot, and the guy goes, "Oh yeah, what you telling me?" And the guy says, "Oh, this is disgraceful. You're a bloody disgrace." And the first thing he does is say to the coppers, "Oh yeah, you just called me a Zulu warrior," and it's fiction. But they do it every time because it's an easy argument winner. It's a low-effort argument winner, isn't it? So that's bollocks. It's not happening. And the second thing is, you get to the end of the story, they get a few people online saying I've been racially abused. They haven't, just making it up. Even the numbers that they tell you, right? 1,000 in a year. This is the number you're talking about. Because they got 1,000 complaints in a year. Think how many interactions the NHS has in your average week. 1,000 in a year. It's probably less than one every month, something like in reality. And because there was 1,000 in a year, the Prime Minister gets involved and says, oh my God, this is absolutely disgusting. People are being rude to nurses. Oh my God, get the Prime Minister involved. Oh, we have to have an inquiry. And again, I'm not saying you should be able to, like, racially or in any way abuse a nurse. But this shouldn't even be news. Like, everyone gets insulted. Are we not adults anymore? Yeah, sometimes people are rude to you. So what? Every time if you've got a big nose and someone says, all right, big nose, what do you want me to do? Phone the Prime Minister? It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. So that's where we're at. It's a preposterous state of affairs. It's a non-story. 1,000 people getting called names isn't worthy of the Prime Minister's attention. And then if you believe that statement by Nazir Afzal, you're a raving lunatic. Because as I covered all the numbers in the video I made earlier, immigration is the only reason you could get a doctor's appointment, as if we didn't have a NHS that was perfectly functional in 1985 or 1990 or 1995 or 2000. I mean, it only really got bad in about the last 10 years, didn't it? Because even in the noughties, when Blair was here, it's a slow rot. When Blair was in charge, we were at about what? 9%. I know all the numbers because I'm sick of reading about it. We're about 9% immigrants working for the NHS in 2009. Yeah, and we had about 12% immigrants in the UK using it. So basically, if you think that's true, you're a plank and you don't know anything. And that's that. Oh yes, Susan's in. Hang on. So Susan's just started a YouTube channel and we've been talking on Twitter for a long time. And I think she's a bit nervous, so I said I'd put her on and, you know, I'm like the training wheels, because if you start to run out of anything to say, I'm good at talking absolute bollocks on a whim. So there she is. Susan, how are you?
I'll be like a deer in a rabbit in the headlights, because I'm like in awe of you. I watch you all the time. Honestly, you make me laugh so much, the way you put things across. It's brilliant.
Oh no, you're a Scouser as well, eh?
I'm a Scouser as well, yeah.
You know, I'm very impressed you're a big fan then, considering I've spent the last 3 years pointing out that 60% of your city are overt communists. So you're one of the sensible 40% then, eh?
Yeah, I think you said 30% last time. So when I sent for a T-shirt from my brother, I said we're one of the 30% in Liverpool.
Okay, that's good. So how long have you been on YouTube then?
Do you know what? Only a couple of months. And I was thinking about, you might ask me this, and I thought to myself, if I was working, I don't think I could do it, because I think people are too scared to speak up. It's only because I'm retired now that I can actually speak up and speak freely about what's going on in the country. Isn't that terrible when you think about that? You know, if you were working, you couldn't do it.
I think that's why they win. I think that's why they're winning, because even though 80% of the country doesn't agree with them, it really is that high, isn't it? Like, I would say like 80%. Like, you get old school Labour voters, but they're not woke. And no conservatives are woke. And no like libertarian types of woke. Like, woke is a very, very niche, like, it's a luxury belief that only posh southern middle class people can have in it.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm like you, I've just been listening to you then when you were saying about the figures. One of the videos that I've done, and I said, you know, the figures stuck in my head, and it's strange, isn't it, how things stick in your head. And one of them was about like children with that are in temporary accommodation at the moment in the UK. And I've done a video, and it was one of the most heart-wrenching ones that I've done. You know, when you see the figures, and I think it had gone up by 7.6% or something, and it was like 172,420. It's stuck in your head, and you think that children that are living in temporary accommodation in 2025 in Britain.
Yeah, it's unbelievable, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think the whole of Europe woke up, haven't they? And this is what I'm saying though, why they've got both fingers on the scales, because even in places like Denmark, Norway, Sweden, places that are a lot better off than us, I've noticed like they're all proper getting right wing, because those countries that had sort of won the lottery of life and had loads of money, places like Norway, because they had loads of oil reserves and hardly any people. So all the kids there were guaranteed like free college and free houses and all this stuff. And now there's 1 million Somalians moved in. They're all like, whoa, where's my free stuff? And they're like, sorry, son, someone's got to pay to feed Akbar Jabari.
Oh.
Yeah, it's mental, isn't it? So everyone's pissed now.
But going back to being a Scouser, I do get an awful lot of trolls saying, oh, you're not a Scouser. How can you call yourself a Scouser? And I think it's not. I think people are just, the word racism and far right has been watered down that much that it means nothing now. It's like water off a duck's back to me. But I do get called all these names and say, you're not a Scouser. And then I seen a big put up about Stormers not welcome in Liverpool, and someone said, that's not Liverpool, that's the Wirral. And I thought, well, isn't it just Merseyside? And he was saying, oh, one banner. And honestly, I was like, wow. And I just got trolled for it. And I think, you know what I do now, Matt? I don't read the comments. I've got like 50,000 followers on TikTok. And I've got about, I don't know, on Twitter, I've got about 34,000, which I've worked really hard to build up. And I used to go through and scroll through and read all the comments, and I was lying like that. Oh, terrible. Now I just think, don't read them, don't look at them.
Oh, if they bother you, don't look at them. I recommend looking at them and getting into aggressive arguments with them back and forth. Yeah, and calling people names. I like to get into juvenile insults with them all, especially the sort of political class and the media wankers. Because, like I said, I do it because they've been calling me names for the last 20 years. Like, to me, calling me a fascist is insulting me. So if you happen to have a bit of a funny shaped head or a set of teeth that look like you pinched them off a dead sheep, then I'm going to make comments about that. Like, I don't see how that's any more juvenile than what they do. I think that's acting like a 5-year-old. So if Keir Starmer says, oh, you're a Nazi, I'll go, well, all right, then you like bumming rent boys. Like, how's that a more immature? I don't see how it is. By the way,
with the words for me, I'm like, you just, the way your words just flow off your tongue. I'm like, wow, I'm not very political, believe it or not. I have to look it up, and then I'm not very political. But what I've found is that I don't care if anyone's listening to me or anyone sees my videos anymore, as long as I can have that rant, even if it's to a camera, even if it's to the phone. I like to have that rant. And I was talking to one of my friends today, and she said, oh, have you got a YouTube channel? I said, yeah. She said, you know what, Sue? I was thinking of doing it. And I said, do it. I said, because it does make you feel better. Just having that rant.
I think it does. It's very soothing to call Owen Jones a rent boy and hope that he reads it.
I laugh when you call, what's that fella on LBC? Spamhead.
Spamhead? You mean, human-shaped spam cube, James O. Bacon face, James O. Bacon face. You know what you should do? Put your YouTube on your Twitter, because I was going to throw it up for everyone there and I can't see it. You haven't got a link to it. So you should put a link to it on your Twitter, and then, if you look at mine, there's a link to it on there.
To be honest with you, I was a bit scared at first of the trolls and that. I didn't want to show my face on the Twitter, but it's got that way that I don't really care. I really don't care anymore. And David Atherton, he always shares me stuff and that. He always shares me posts. And I showed him my YouTube, and I thought, don't put that up because my face is on it. And then I thought, why? Why am I bothered?
Who cares what they're going to say? Again, have you seen the clip of the average lefty? They're all proper mutants. Like, we call the snack bar regulars cousin bummers. But have you seen some of the Guardian readers? They are proper mutants. The average one of them looks like Rosie Jones. Like they all live in the shadows of a nuclear power plant. So I love showing them my face, because I'm like, go on then, show me yours. People will go like, oh yeah, they'll call me names like Baldy. Someone will go, shut up, Baldy. I'm like, I'm 46 years old. What do you mean? But you call someone Baldy if they're like 23 and they went bald like then, you take the piss out of them. Like my cousin Lee went bald when he was like 19. We used to call him Fivehead because he proper had like a fivehead when he was a kid. He had a comb over by the time he was 23. But when you start going bald when you're 46, that's normal.
That's acceptable, isn't it? That's normal, yeah.
So they call me Baldy, and I'm like, all right, you got me there. I'm 46, son. I had hair like Frodo Baggins when I was 28. So wind your fucking neck in, because look at the state of you. And then I'll just reel off the numerous, infinitely worse grotesqueries that they've got floating around their head.
Well,
on about Rosie Jones.
I get it about my teeth. I get my teeth. They go, oh, where'd you get your teeth done? And I think, yeah, so what? You know,
you've got the best teeth I've ever seen on a Scouser. So that's a mad one. I've been in pubs in Liverpool where there was more feet than teeth at the bar. And so I tell you what, the grasping at straws there. You not only have you got the best teeth I've ever seen on a Scouser, they should make you mayor of Liverpool purely off your dental hygiene. That's how good they are.
Well, I've just been the dentist today, and you'll never believe this. Honestly, I put a video up the other week about I went to get my teeth done, and because I can't claim any benefits, I've worked all my life, I can't claim benefits because I've got savings. So you're penalised now for actually working all your life. So you can't get anything free, no dental, nothing. So anyway, goes to the dentist, and I had to pay band 1 for the NHS. I finally get into a dentist. Anyway, it goes and they said, yeah, we'll do a polish, just clean and polish for you. So they cleaned the bottom teeth and not the top teeth.
I don't get it.
So I said, do I only pay half the price for that? So they said, no, in band 1, because I thought it was because of my veneers, and he said, no, because you're only paying for band 1, £27.40. We only clean the bottom teeth. Have you ever heard anything like that in your life?
That's mental, isn't it? It's like taking your car to the car wash and they just go, we'll just do the windows. It's like
today, yeah. Or
it makes no sense.
Everything else is just left. So I couldn't believe it. Honestly, I could not believe it. I was like, wow. But the videos have kept me going. It's just something to look forward to, isn't it? And I've talked like of yours. I've been watching people more, you know, how they present and what have you. And I love at the end where you go, hey, that's just my opinion. So I've been doing that one. I've been copying you a little bit and saying, hey, that's my opinion. You can agree or disagree with me, but I'm sure you'll let me know in the comments below. And I think, I've got a little rhyme at the end of my YouTube, but I'm really enjoying it, loving it.
That's good. Well, I just do that on the hope that someone left wing will stick their head up in the chat and then everyone can torture them. So, that's good.
I was laughing at yours before the week of racist, is it? It's racist week this week, isn't it?
Yeah, it's racist week.
Yes.
Someone said that it's a racist week. I thought, where can you be racist this week? I was like, they're trying to talk me into a good time there. It's racist week. That sounds quite good.
Yeah.
Make for a nice change at least.
Yeah. What's
Have
her
you
name?
seen?
Sarah Poachin, is it, or Poochin or whatever her name? Reform, and she went on and oh my God, they're up in turmoil, aren't they? You know, about her saying it gets her mad that she watches the TV. I can't watch it now. I just can't watch it. The adverts.
I found a good one someone sent me about how bad the ads have got. This is what I'm saying about like we're living in a world gone completely mad, right? Yeah. Sarah Poachin said what I genuinely think when I was home last time. I think it's all anyone talked about. Like every pub I went in, if the telly was on, an advert had come on for like Waitrose at 4:00 in the afternoon. And every single person in the ads is black as the ace of spades. And everyone in the pub would go, is this like Nigerian Waitrose? What's going on here? So it's another mad thing. Like everyone in the entire country's been talking about this for years.
On Twitter, it was 3 or 4 white people kneeling down, and the black fella was using them as an armchair. That was on a Curry's advert.
Using them as an armchair?
he was using them as an armchair. The white people was bending, kneeling, and the black fellow was sitting there, and he was using them as an armchair. And I said, if that's not, that's unacceptable, isn't it? It's just unacceptable. Can you imagine that if it was the other way around?
Well, on about living in a fantasy world. Look at this one. Have you seen this one? Sexual harassment called it out. A fit blonde bird tried on with a big burly black fella, and he's going, whoa, like you couldn't just break a jaw, which is what they usually do as part of the mating ritual.
He should be so lucky, shouldn't he? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, like blokes respond like that when fit lasses grab them. They go, oh, get off me cock, you weirdo. Like, it's a crazy. But again, they'll put this out with a straight face.
You do.
And there's 661 people watching, and not one of them will go, oh yeah, that makes loads of sense, that advert. That happens all the time.
Yeah, and
that's a problem.
Today of you when you put the one up in the suit, the guy up in a suit touching the black woman up in the train.
Never ever happened, ever. A Savile Row, Jacob Rees-Moggs like, fancy a shag. Some Nigerian tribeswoman. She's on the tube with like a grass skirt on and a bone through her lip. And Nigel and Jacob Rees-Moggs there going, get your tits out, sweetheart. What's your channel actually called on YouTube then? Because a lot of people asking and they want to see it.
It's called, I feel ashamed saying it. It's Susie Q Unfiltered.
Susie Q.
Q, yeah.
All right, let's get him a link.
Yeah. But it's like where I live, it's just always been Labour, always, obviously, in Liverpool. And I was doing some leafleting for Reform, and the last general election. I was doing some work for them. They actually asked me to stand here, and I said, no, I don't want to get into anything like that. But I was leafing for them. And this old woman come out, and she looked me up and down, and she said, oh, you're disgusting. She said, yourself. I said, me, why? So she went, you're racist. So I was like, oh, I said, it's okay, whatever. I thought, I'm not arguing with it. I walked away. I was dying to go and knock on a door, when Labour cut the heating bill for the pensioners. I was dying to knock on a window and go, are you cold, are you?
Yeah. Say, you might be cold tonight, but look on the bright side. Mombasa's going to be warm in his council house because you're paying for his bills, you silly mare, and every single turkey Twizzler he eats for the next 25 years.
Yeah, exactly. And then another woman, I only got 2 people really that said things to me, and one said to me, oh no, Labour for us, they're always for the working class people. And I was trying to explain to them, look, the Labour of now isn't the Labour of when our grandparents voted for Labour. But you know what? You might as well be banging your head against that wall because they just don't listen. And you can go blue in the face arguing with them. I give up now. I think I'm not even arguing with anyone.
Thanks for that, Platty. Gifted another membership to someone. Getting up there now. I wish I'd monetised my channel a couple of years earlier because I feel like I'd be in a better spot now if I had. For years I didn't do it because I didn't want to make it like it was about the money, and it isn't, is it? It's like
no. I mean, I'm not monetized. I've only got a few. I've got about 2,000 followers, but I'm not very confident either. I'm trying to become more confident on them and become more natural. But I thought I wouldn't mind. I just like it because it gets it off my chest, and what it also does, it gets me looking at the news and seeing what's going on rather than just being blind to it all. I'm actually looking of a morning. I go on ChatGPT and say, so what's happening today in the UK? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like that. But it's not monetized. But as I say, it's helping me inwardly, if that makes sense.
Yeah. No, it definitely is. It's I enjoy it. I enjoy having a proper community. There's a lot of people come on now, like regulars, so you get you have a good bit of crack with them all. You start to get to know each other's sense of humour and that.
Regulars at Alan Snack Bar.
Yeah, well, I'm not bothered with that. I don't like them regulars. Those regulars have a tendency to explode without warning. I'm not really into them. It's
when I do some lives on, I go on live, on the what's it called, TikTok, And do you know what? I wasn't talking politics on it. I was just talking years ago. You know, like when I used to get a little ticket for me free dinner, and I used to sell it and go and buy 2 Lucy's out the van. And anyone that is not a scout for a Lucy just meant a loose ciggy, and you'd get 2 matches with it, and you'd go, you know, you'd try and light your ciggy with the match because you'd only get 2. So we were talking about all that and what it used to be like on a Sunday afternoon watching Bullseye. And then someone had come on and say, Free Palestine. And I was like, really? And I said, we're not talking about that. We're just talking about all our yesterdays. But someone had always come on and, put up and shout, just come on me live, Free Palestine, or talk about Tommy Robinson and say he's getting paid by Israel. And I was thinking, I'm not. So they said to me, well, your channel's about that. No, my posts are about political stuff on TikTok, but I'm actually talking today about all our yesterdays. But you always get idiots, don't you, coming up and, you know, spoiling things, spoiling the fun.
Well, sling them out, don't you, if they're going to bother you. You know, it's funny that hasn't changed in decades then, because everyone used to buy Lucy's in the borough as well when I was a lad. When we were like 15, 16, if you needed, generally if you were 15, you wanted a Lucy because you were making a spliff. And if you see the ice cream van in Bury, you run the ice cream van, all the little kids are getting 99s and we were getting loose fags off them. Yeah. So again, it's probably more of a northern thing. I bet you're in some nice areas down south, you don't get Benson and Edges with your 99s.
Yeah,
but, it was the same when I was a lad.
When my mum was skint, my mum would say, get us 5 Park Drive, because you could get Park Drives in 5s, not 10s. So she'd get, you knew when she was skint, because you'd only get 5 Park Drives.
Everything was better. It's funny how you turned into your dad. I'm only 46 and I probably feel like I've turned into my dad. Like the other thing was, and this is why I'm so against it in principle, it's like, I love that rant by Edgar Friendly on Demolition Man where he says, you know, I've seen the future and it's a 40-year-old virgin in his pyjamas. Because that's what they've done to us. Like, we seen it coming because that movie came out 20 years ago now. Yeah. But that's what they've done. Like, we knew that cigarettes were bad for us. And funny old thing, we knew that Special Brew wasn't good for you. But we still made the choice to have it because we were like, yeah, it's fine. Like, all right, let's say it takes a few years off my life. I don't care. I don't want to be 98. Yeah. So, but what they've done is they genuinely have just removed the choice from the matter. Like, how much is 20 Super Kings now in England? Like, how much? I don't even know.
I think it must be touching 15 quid.
15 quid?
Yeah, they must be.
Who still smokes tabs in the chat? Let me know. When I was 16 at school, last year of school, when you start smoking because you're a little tearaway in England. When I was like 15, 16, you get 10 Lambert and Butler. They were the cheap ones. If you were flush, you'd get Regal Kings.
Regal Kings.
They were like 148, and Lambert and Scruff Tub. We used to call them Lambert and Scruff Tub because they were like 25 pence cheaper. Lambert and Scruff Tub were about 120, like 118 or something.
Honestly,
and I bet you it's like, it's 15 quid now.
It must be touching £15, but I know a lot of people around here, when they go on holiday, they bring back 200s and they sell them, to people and what have you. And someone sells them from the house and they get like 20 ciggies for like half the price or something. But
look, being here to 20 quid about thereabouts now. 20 quid. Imagine if someone goes up and says, "Oh, here's a fag," you'll be like, "You're having a laugh, aren't you?" Yeah, I don't earn enough to give you a fag. Like back in the day, just give them out, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Take a mortgage out for 200 ciggies. Absolutely ridiculous, isn't it?
Unbelievable.
Honestly, that's what we were talking about, and the prices, what you could do, and you'd go and get you'd get 10 ciggies, and you'd get a bottle of Blue Nun wine.
Blue Nun. My mum used to drink Baby Sham. I remember when I was a little kid, she'd send me to get a lacquer. She was always doing her hair. I guess in the 80s, they all had big hair. She'd always go, "Get me lacquer and a bottle of Baby Sham," and I'd go and bring it over while she's doing the do before she went out. Then my Uncle Ian would look after us and he used to knock the shite out of me.
Oh.
Good times, though. Good times.
Like your neighbours and what have you. It was different back then, wasn't it? Because, and your mum would put a note in your hand and it'd be your mate's mum. and it'd be a note in your hand, and you knew that she was asking to borrow 50 pence, you know, back in the day. And I'd be embarrassed because I'd be standing there. My mate would open the door and I'd go, "Can you give that to your mum?" Because he was fine. Do you know what I mean? My dad worked, my mum didn't work. And she'd say, and I'd think, "Don't look at the note, don't look at the note." Note to me mate. And it'd be, "Have you got 50 pence to lend us for the light or something?" Or remember the tellies when you used to put the 10 pences in the tellies?
My nana's house, they still had a meter. You had to put money in the meter.
Yeah.
And there was a Joe Dackey's around the corner called Bashy. She goes, "Go to Bashy's, but don't buy anything," because he's a robbing bastard. We used to go there for a change. Yeah. And she said he really did used to get multi-pack stuff out the supermarket and scribble it out on it with like a pen and sell it for like twice the price.
And I bet it used to say on it not to be sold separate.
Yeah, do not. So he'd rub it out with a marker pen and think that was fooling everyone. Yeah. You could tell he was a result of cousin bumming if he thought that was an ingenious manoeuvre. No one can see the marker pen all over his products.
All over it, yeah. But I'll tell you, my brother got the little scissors and opened the back, and then all we had to do was put the same 10 pence in, you know, all the time. And then before the telly man had come, on at the end of the month, my mum would have to go around and get like £7.50 worth of 10 pences to put back in the telly.
I still can't believe it's 20 quid for fags. Because, I mean, I don't know anything about drug paraphernalia, but it sounds like at this point you're better off doing heroin or cocaine or something. Like, it'd be cheaper, wouldn't it? Oh, I'm into smack. Well, at least you're not a smoker. You know what I mean? Like, you'll be saving money.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Absolutely unbelievable, isn't it? I can't believe the prices of things. And then, you know, taxis. I got a taxi home the other night, 24 quid it was. And
that's unbelievable.
We travelled to Vietnam, and we'd done a 4-hour taxi ride, and it was 15 quid. 4 hours.
Mad that, innit?
Yeah, honestly, the prices are just ridiculous. Ridiculous.
Everything seems to have doubled in the last 5 years with the Rona.
Yeah.
One thing I'll bring up this story here, because I'll keep making this point now, like, no one's going to avoid this. Like, the globalist sociopaths have been called that by forward-thinking Americans because that's what they are, globalists. And by definition, if they're a globalist, then nobody gets away from it.
Yeah.
You know? So, look, they're doing it in France now. Everyone was like, oh, even in France, they've got better freedom of speech than us. Apparently, 10 people are going on trial now because they made malicious comments about the French First Lady. This is why I keep doing it, because I want them to arrest me.
Yeah,
I want them to make a martyr of me.
Wasn't she doing a video to prove that she was a woman?
What did she do? Get a flange out in court?
I'm sure I heard it on the radio. I used to... Hey, what about Thingo getting sacked? What's his name? Mike Graham. I used to listen to
yeah.
He got sacked, didn't he? But I'm sure I heard him saying he was interviewing someone, and he was saying that she wants to do a video to prove that she's a woman. And someone said, why doesn't she just ignore it? Because isn't that just playing into the hands? And they said, no, she wants to prove that she's a woman. So she'll have to just sit there
she'll have to just part her whiskers in the middle of the courtroom, like do a Sharon Stone, wear a little white skirt and just show everyone her flaps on CNN.
So is that what they've been done for? Is that the 10 people that have been calling her a man?
Apparently, 8 men and 2 women are accused of making posts repeating the claims, and others taunting her because the 24-year-old gauge. Again, this is what I'm saying. So it's like the hypocrisy of the ruling class. They can call you whatever they want. They can smear you constantly every day. So they can call old frogface whatever they want, racist, fascist, Nazi, all this stuff every day. Well, like I said, the first and worst example of it was Anna Soubry. Anna Soubry was spent 2 years trying to thwart the Brexit vote. Proper, full-blown authoritarianism. They lost the referendum by 1 million votes, and then she spent 2 years trying to undo it. So James Goddard and about 10 of his mates, when she was given an interview outside Parliament, they started chanting, Soubry is a Nazi, Soubry is a Nazi, over and over again. A week later, they're all in court for, like, I don't know what trumped-up charges they got them on, but it was something like harassment of a public official.
Yeah.
And that was when I realised, and that's when I resolved to start. Like I said, I'm juvenile. I'm 46-year-old, and I spend my time getting pictures of like politicians and public figures up and saying things like, you've got teeth like a witch doctor's necklace. You've got you look like the Milky Bar kids. You look like, whatever juvenile insults, bacon face. Yeah. Because I'm trying to point out this glaring hypocrisy, and I'd love it if they get me in court. I'd love it to be like, oh, what's he in court for? Oh, this 46-year-old American man's been arrested for saying James O'Brien has a head like a spam cube that's been cunningly wrought to resemble a human skull. I want them to read that out on telly and be like, yeah, this is where we're at now. Juvenile.
But Matt, did you? Are you a Viz reader?
Oh, yeah, voraciously. The reason I've got a good sense of humour is because I've got a good memory, and like literally from the age of about 8, because my dad was a typical single-parent bloke in Borough. Yeah. Like from the age of about 8, I've listened to like Chubby Brown tapes, read every copy of the Viz, spent a lot of time watching Bernard Manning VHSs and all that type of stuff. Like, I'd say 60% of the stuff I say I've heard at some point in the last 30 years, and then 40% I just make it up on the fly.
Wow.
But I've just had a childhood reading the Viz and listening to Chubbs. I was literally listening to, we had like cassette tapes. I remember the first one I found was Piss Pot, and I think I was only about 10. And it was in my dad's bedroom, and I put it in the cassette player, and I was sat listening to it, pissing myself, laughing, thinking, this is gold, this. And some of them I've never forgot. Some of the stuff I use I've never forgot.
Me fella there, he said to me, we watch it all the time, me and me fella and my brother. And Paul said to me, he said he's a Viz, he said he's an avid Viz reader. He said it because he's got him and my brother. He'll remember things like that, and he'll bring something up and he goes, "It's like the bit," and I go, "How do you remember that?" And he say, "I wasn't. I've never read it." But him and my brother go hysterical, laughing at things, and I'm like, I don't get it.
It used to be amazing. It got worse over the decades, but the sort of peak run between about. It probably was about 88 to about 94, like when I read it all the time when I was a kid. Yeah. It was amazing. It was like hilarious. Just like pub crack, that they put in on paper, and it was amazing.
Brilliant. Yeah, absolutely.
Someone at school was called Specky Twat. Yeah, there was a Specky Twat. Again, like when you were a kid in the North East, you call everyone a Specky Twat. So they made a comic strip about it.
The ones that I'd say, this is disgusting, and I think, oh, God forgive me. But when the lad that had acne, I used to call him beans on toast face.
Yeah. Rude Kid, there's another good one I remember. That was a one-panel comic where his mum would say, like, do you want to go shopping? Do you want to come to the shop, son? He'd say, big fat elephant fanny. Like, that was like a one-panel comic. Like, again, juvenile stuff, but I love that shit.
But there's the names that you get when you're kids, isn't it? It's like, some fella had like a wide nose. We used to call him Bungle Bear. I remember having a fight with him. You remember Bungle off Rainbow? I used to sing that song to him, and I remember him punching me in the face.
You know what? You've made me think of one that I used to love: the Bernard Manning racist plate. Did you ever see that? I'll see if I can Google it and find it. Yeah. So what they used to do in the Viz was they used to do like piss take memorabilia. Like old grannies.
Yeah.
I'd buy tat. The Viz used to do fake memorabilia, so it'd be like the Queen of Hearts for Diana, but it'd all be piss take. And the words would say stuff like, it didn't matter whether she was, feeding lepers or getting porked by Will Carling out the back of Wembley Stadium. She was the Queen of Hearts, that type of shit.
Yeah.
And there was loads of class stuff, and there was a hoof in Viz one, and I still remember it because it said, "Oh, here we are, found it." It only took me about 10 clicks there. I hope this is good enough quality for me to read.
Oh.
Anyways, and I always remember it's the best bit on it. It says, Bernard used to mock everybody equally: whites, blacks, Chinese, but especially blacks and Chinese.
Honestly, where does that? That's what we were talking about the other week. Where has the comedy gone? Where is the sense of humour, the British sense of humour? It seems to have gone. I know they cancelled one of Casey Hopkins. Is it one of their shows? And I was thinking, it's adult paying. They're giving her a ticket. They're paying. There's no kids involved. They go in, they want to be made laugh, make me laugh, Casey. And the council decided to close it. And I thought, what's happening to British sense of humour? It's just ridiculous, says Bernard, look.
Here it is. Look, I don't know if you can read it because the quality's bad. It's on. It's only on Flickr, but it says a 4 genuine collector plate that few people of taste will ever welcome into their homes. Bernard, fat racist of heart. And the first paragraph says, a magnificent work of portraiture stuck on a surprisingly small plate as a timeless limited edition tribute to the people's comedian. Whether he was heaping foul-mouthed vitriolic abuse on black audience members, urinating in his dressing room sink, or sitting in his pants at home, Bernard Manning brought laughter and light into our lives. That's amazing, isn't it?
That's funny, that. Honestly, God, it's hysterical. But that's what me fella's like. He has to look at all that. He knows all the Bernard Manning jokes, and I can just be sitting there, and I'll hear Bernard Manning, and I go and he's laughing, and he just puts it on. He said it's just brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Honestly, it's just so different now, isn't it? It's just so. I watched that one. Did you watch that with Nigel Farage and what she said? I don't know what her name is.
I did, yeah. I was talking about that before you turned up. That's what I thought we'd end on, because we go back to do one political story before we piss off. I was saying there, so what's your comment on this? Because I disagree often with my fellow sort of right-wing people on the internet these days. Nick even, right, I'm a big fan of Nick. I go on his show quite a lot. He said, Farage has been so damaged psychologically by decades of being called a racist, he bends over backwards to prove he's not. This is why he's not the right person to save the UK. Where do you stand on that? Because, as I said, I have a lot of quite strong disagreements with those on the right. I think when you're a soldier, you're a ruthless pragmatist. Yeah. And basically, you pick whoever you need to win. And I'm a pragmatist, not an idealist. I think the chances of us not having to do it the hard way and like being a big kick-off with like severe, like almost wide-scale civil disobedience like in Northern Ireland, I think the chance of that happening now is like 50-50. I think it's very slim. But I do think if we want to have a chance of it happening, it has to be within the next sort of 5 or 10 years. And if Reform don't get in, I don't see how it happens. And we do it the hard way instead. So where do you stand on it? Will you vote for Farage or will you not bother?
Do you know what? I'm like you on it. I'm sort of, he's the best of a bad bunch, if you like. I don't think he's the perfect one, but what I think he'll do is, if he gets close to win, I think if he does get in, it'll push politics in a more of a conservative way. It'll push people to the right more. Do you know what I mean? Like advance, advances it with, what's his name? Ben Habib,
yeah.
He might start coming up the ranks a little bit, and that'll push Nigel. That'll keep his feet warm, if you like. He's got to keep pushing to take us to the right place. But I think I would vote for him because there's no one else. That's the only reason. There's no one else that can get us out of it. And can he get us out of it?
Yeah, well, again, who knows, right? I'm just saying it. With me, I'm going with him, and I won't devote any time to slagging him off like a lot of right-wing YouTubers do. I think at the end of the day, it's him or bust. Yeah, I do think that if he gets in, his true colours will come out. And like I said, they all call him a deep state plant and a lefty and all this type of stuff. Unless he's been playing the game secretly for 37 years, I don't see how he's not right-wing and wants to deport all these people.
I think he's playing it very clever because he, like when he was he's got to distance himself from the likes of Tommy Robinson, and when he said get them lot and all that, I think he has to distance himself for political reasons. And I think once he gets into power, we'll see a different Nigel. That's what I'm hoping anyway. Yeah,
me too. So we agree there.
Yeah.
Before we end it, I'll read you this one. Here's another good one I found, look. Little Ted West, I remember that, from the limited collector's edition series Bears of Murder. It says, cuddly toy or ursine maniac, you decide. It says, Since 1994, the mere mention of 25 Cromwell Street struck terror into the hearts of the public. For in that year, a horrified nation placed bets on the final total as the so-called House of Horrors gave up its hideous secrets. We must never forget his chilling reign of evil, and what better way to remember the homicidal Gloucester pervert than this heirloom collector bear, Little Ted West?
That was terrible.
It's class, isn't it?
Look at the little boots on him.
Yeah, it says Little Ted West is both a charming memento of one man's sadistic odyssey of stomach-churning sexual violence and a disturbingly malevolent evocation of pure whimsy. Oh, that's great.
Class, isn't it? Oh,
Love that.
You've made me mascara run.
Yeah, and if you buy it now, you can get little Ted Manson.
You get
little Ted Manson free, yeah.
Little
It
Ted
says-
Manson.
Yeah, it's like Charles Manson, innit? It says, we'll send you a different bear of murder every month until our craftsmen run out of murderers to do bears off.
Oh my God. Ed Gein. Oh my God.
In the small print at the bottom as well, it says, I am both repulsed, yet strangely aroused by true life tales of murder and dismemberment. It's class.
Oh.
Anyway, right, Sue, you'll have to come
Yeah.
on again because that was fun, and I'm glad to give you a plug.
And my nerves have all gone now, so thank you very much for inviting me. It's been a
Good.
pleasure.
The more you do it, the easier it gets. I'll get you on again next stream, and yeah, take care of yourself. I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you. Bye, Matt.
All right. See you later.
Bye.
Everyone else, cheers. I'm off as well. I'm going to go and do something useful in my day. See you later. Take it easy. Bye.